Okay, this is a quick summary of a longer development, but if we have theta sub I here, delta x here, if this angle is about 14 degrees, which it is for a certain delta x, then this angle here is going to be about 3.5 degrees because your angle of refraction is going to be about 10.5 degrees. Didn't label that one, but this is about 14, this is about 10.5 degrees, so the difference between this straight line and this line here is going to be the difference between these two angles, about 3.5 degrees. Okay, if that's 3.5 degrees, if we calculate about twice the radius, okay, the distance here is about twice the radius. It's a little shorter than that, but if delta x is small, it's an insignificant amount shorter. We get that this distance here is about 1/2 delta x. So this distance is about half of this distance. If this angle is 14 degrees, this distance is half of this distance, then the angle of this radial line is going to be about half the angle of this radial line with the axial line. So this angle is equal to this angle. This is about 14 degrees. This is about 7 degrees. Now, if this is 14 degrees and this is 7 degrees, then this obtuse angle in here is 180 degrees, minus 14 degrees, minus 7 degrees, about 159 degrees. Theta sub r is about 10.5 degrees for water. So we got about 10.5 degrees here, which leaves us about, where am I? 159 degrees. 14 degrees makes 173 degrees, leaving us about 7 degrees right here. In other words, about half the angle. So the angle of incidence of this ray with the normal, which is the radial line here, is going to be about 7 degrees for that particular distance delta x. For the distance delta x, it gives us a 14-degree angle here. All that has been labeled up here. Our theta sub r is about 10.5 degrees. Our theta sub I, and again, I've labeled theta sub I here, it's equal here and here. You have corresponding angles of the transversal of two parallel lines. We got 14 degrees here. It turns out, and that's part of the development here, that this angle has to be very much close to, if n equals 1.33, this angle is very close to half of this angle, giving us an angle of 159 degrees up here, and you put that all together, you find that theta sub I prime has to be about 7 degrees.